Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Nafula and today I'll be covering a very important topic, and that is the green card lottery. Maybe it's not important to you, but it's important to somebody else. I've had a lot of questions from my friends, from my family, from everybody else requesting me to do a video on this, and I just decided, you know what, I'm just gonna do this because the application season or whatever the application is opening in October. That's why I'm doing this video today. I've been getting a lot of questions or maybe a request to do a video about the green card lottery, not because I'm a legal advisor. For some reason, I apply and I win. So a brief history. I applied for the green card lottery in 2010 for myself. I won. And then I had a green card already in 2011, but then I decided, let me apply for the green card lottery again. In 2011, I won. So in 2015, I helped my brother apply for the green card lottery. I just guided him through the process and he won. And then after that, 4 of my friends won the lottery. I don't know how I do it. I don't have any experience. I don't have any legal experience. So what I can say is, from all those people who won, there's something that maybe I'm doing that other people are not doing. I don't know. But I just guide them, like whatever is gonna be in this video is whatever I advise them. So the most important thing, if you're gonna take from this video, is to have the right picture, the right photo, the right that they require. So make sure your photo meets the requirements to the T. For the series about the green card lottery, I'm gonna do it in 3 videos. So this is the first video. So the second video, I'm gonna come here and I'm just gonna go over the requirements. I'm gonna go with the picture requirements. I'm gonna pull the picture that I used, that my brother used, that my friends used, if they will allow me, that they used to apply for the green card and they won. And then I'm gonna go over all the other requirements. I'm not a legal expert, so don't use this as a legal advice. So let's first begin by just having a general understanding on what the DV lottery program is. So the DV program or DV lottery program or the green card program is a program that was created by the United States that makes 50,000 visas available for immigrants to immigrate to the United States. And these immigrants are from countries which have the low rates of immigration. So the reason why this program is really important, it enables people who maybe before they didn't have a chance of coming to the United States legally, now they can actually immigrate to the United States without having any link at all, like family member in the United States or coming for college here. So literally somebody who doesn't know anybody in the United States can apply for this program and can literally qualify to come here on an immigrant status. But today I'll be covering just the basic requirements for the program. I don't have any experience, like a legal experience, to advise you on what you need to do. So I know you're probably asking, do I qualify to apply for the green card lottery? Everybody pretty much can apply for the program, but not everybody qualifies for the program. I don't know if I'm making sense. Like, you can apply to the program, but then once you win, then that's where it gets really complicated. So everybody's eligible to apply, but after you win, you might not be eligible to come to the United States. That's why it's important before you apply for the program to make sure that you're actually eligible for the program, so that when you win, you don't run into complications where you've won and you can't come here. So eligibility, first you have to make sure that your country participates in the green card lottery program, because not all countries are eligible to participate. So once you've determined that your country is eligible to participate in the program, you have to check if you as an individual qualifies to actually participate in the program. So for one, if you're a United States citizen or if you already have a permanent residence in the United States, you don't need to apply for the program because you actually don't need it. If you're in the United States on a visitor's visa, a student visa, or any other visa, after you win, you can actually apply to adjust your status and become a permanent resident. But then to qualify to apply, you have to make sure that you're legally here. So if you came here as a student, or you came here to visit, and then your visa ran out and you're out of status, then don't even bother applying, because once you qualify and then you go for an interview and they realize you're out of status, you might be put into a deportation proceeding. So if you're in another country, like if you're in Kenya, just make sure you're on the good side of the law, because if you've been arrested before, you might win the green card lottery and not able to come here. So you have to make sure that you are good with the law, because once you win, they will require a certificate of good conduct, and that shows that you don't have any prior arrests, or you have been a law-abiding member of the society to actually immigrate here. Also, in regards to eligibility, just make sure like your country is not one of the countries that's banned from the United States. Like, I remember there's a time where Tanzania was actually banned from the United States, so they were not giving any visas to people from Tanzania and all that. So if you're from that country and then you play the lottery, you win, you might not get an interview. But then in that case, I just encourage you to apply, because you never know, by the time it's time to actually process your visa, maybe the ban will be lifted. So just apply regardless of whether your country is banned from here or not. But then if your country is excluded from the green card program, then don't bother applying, because then you can't claim eligibility based off of that country. I don't know if I'm making sense. Now that I've already talked about eligibility, the second requirement is education. You have to have graduated from a high school or a high school equivalent diploma to the one in the United States. So if you're from Kenya, the country that I'm from, you have to have gotten at least a D- in your KCSE, which is really not hard to get. Like, literally is an E and a D-. Somebody who doesn't go to school and then ends up like sitting for the exam might get an E. So a D- is just a point higher than an E, which is not hard to get. Another thing that I also want to mention really quick, you have to have your high school diploma at the time of application. I might be wrong on this, but usually it's safe that you sit for your high school and then apply. You can apply, and then by the time you get like the interview, because the results take a year, so you might have graduated high school at that time. But just to be safe, just make sure you have everything that's on the requirement prior to your application. The third requirement is the marital status. Are you single, or are you married, or are you divorced? There's nothing in between. So if you're single, just click the single. If you're married, make sure you have a marriage certificate. So if you've been living with somebody for 20 years, you have children together, when you put in your application, you should click on the single. Because once you present on the interview, like if you win and then you have to go to the interview, they will ask for your marriage certificate. And your marriage certificate, the date on there, it has to be prior to your application. So that's why it's so important that if you're gonna get married after, like maybe if your wedding is tomorrow and you're applying today, you apply a single. The fourth most important thing is your names. I know it's very obvious. You know your name is blah, blah, blah. It's not very obvious for a lot of people. The names that you have on your ID and your passport should match the names you'll put on the application. If you just switch your middle name, like I'm Charlene Nafula, and I say, okay, now I'm Nafula Charlene, that's completely different person in the United States. They won't recognize that at all. So it's very important that your name on your birth certificate, your name on your ID, your name on your passport, and your name on your application matches. The first name, middle name, and the last name. If you don't have a middle name, leave it blank. Don't put anything that's not on your ID. Another very trivial but very important thing to remember is the email address. Usually when you apply, they ask you for an email address, and a lot of people, just go in the cyber cafe, they don't realize they needed an email address before, and then they just open an email address, apply, and forget the password. Bad idea. Because guess what? Once you win the lottery, everything will be sent to that email address. So if you don't have a password to that email address, guess what? You won't be able to access anything. So make sure that the email address that you use and the password are safe. Another thing is the post office or the address you use to receive your documents. Make sure that that post office is trusted. We've had cases where family members will receive your documents, and like you're from Africa, and then like family members, there's some people who don't agree or whatever. They just have like issues, conflicts in the family, and people will hide those documents. And we've had like stories from people who won the lottery and never received the documents. Guess what? Maybe a family member received the documents, but because mtu hakutaki, like umeshinda green card, mtu hataki uende stato, hataki uwe juu yake, anaficha documents zako. So it's very, very important, your post office umeka hapo, make sure it's trusted, that if somebody gets a hold of those documents, they will give them to you. Because if you don't receive them, that's it. Hakuna kukuja. That's it. So the last requirement I'm gonna cover for today is the photo, or the picture, or the photo, whatever you call it. The picture that you have to submit with your application, it has to meet certain requirements. And I can't insist this enough. If it doesn't, you will not win. Don't go taking a picture with your iPhone. Don't go taking a selfie. Don't go taking just a picture, asking somebody who doesn't have experience to take a picture of you. That won't cut it. Make sure you go to a photo studio, and these people need to have an idea of the requirements, because it has to be a certain measurements and all that. It has to be in a certain way. Make sure those requirements are spot on. Now that I covered the basic stuff about applying for the green card lottery, I'm just gonna jump on my computer and I'll make sure I share my screen, and I'll just pull up a sample of a green card application form, and I'll just go each question step by step. I'll just say whatever I filled out. I'm not gonna use my real names or my real information, but I'm just to give you an idea on how to fill out the forms. I'll make sure that I include the application link on this video, so if you go down below this video, you'll have the correct link, and if anything changes or there's any movement or whatever, I will make sure I update it. I just want to make sure that everybody is applying for free. You don't need to pay anybody to apply for your green card. It's totally free. So before wasting much time, let's hop on the computer. So it brings you to this page here. As you can see, this page, you have a lot of results. So when you type DV lottery, you get about more than 1 million results about the DV lottery. So what you need to do, you need to identify the correct website, and that's the key to not getting scammed. So if you realize most of the website, or most of the how do I put it, all of the United States websites that deal with immigration, or most of the stuff, they end with the gov.gov. Like this one here, it says dvprogram.state.gov. So probably is a genuine website. If you go to this one here, says the same exact thing, state.gov. But then look at this one here. It says official DV lottery registration for 2024. But then look at the ending here. It says dvlottery.us. So this is a giveaway that this is probably a scam website. They're trying to charge you for this service, which should be completely free. Go to this one here. It says dvlottery.com. So this is not a genuine website because it doesn't end with the gov at the end. Look at this one here, dvlottery.me. This is another fake one. And then this one ends with a gov, so this is probably a legit website. So we'll just click on this one here. It says dvprogram.state.gov. So that's the correct website. And then when you click on it, you realize there's nowhere that allows you to apply. There's no box that you have to check to apply for the DV lottery because it's not open yet. It opens in October. So that's why if somebody is telling you to apply for the green card now or next month, they're probably lying to you. It opens on October. It opens in October. So here, like if you applied last year and you want to check if you won or not, you can just click on this box here to check your status, and then you click continue, and it will bring you to this page here. So this page will ask you for the confirmation number. That I'll go over that on my next video, where to get the confirmation number. So usually when you apply, you get a confirmation number which you should keep safe. So the confirmation number here, you put it right in here. You put your last name and the year of birth, and then you put these numbers here. And when you click submit, so if you won and you click submit, it will bring you like something like a letter that says, you know, congratulations and all that. It will give you all the information plus your case number. But if you click on it and it says, oh, okay, you are not selected into whatever, so it means you didn't win. Before, if you lost the confirmation number, then that was it. Like there was nowhere to check. But then here, if you lost it, it gives you an option to click on that, and then it asks you, you know, a couple questions. So year to check, and then the names you used on your application, the date of birth. And remember when I said the importance of your email address? So you have to plug in your email address here, and then these letters here. So if you forgot your email address and then they send anything to that email address, guess what? You can't use it. So that's why it's important to keep the email address safe and to make sure all the details that you put on your applications are safe. Okay, let's go back. Or anyhow, I pulled one form here that was used for application, I think in 2017. So after you applied for the green card lottery, the last time I did, I think they added a place where you have to put in your passport information. So that made, like, a lot of people were not able to apply because they didn't have a passport. But I heard the good news is this year, 2022, they will not require you to provide the passport information. I'm not sure about that. Don't quote me on that. But if that's the case, then everybody can literally apply. You don't need a passport. You don't need to have a passport to apply. You can actually just go in there and apply, which will be easier, as I will show you. So this is a sample from last year. So they'll ask you your name, but you see when you come down here, it has the passport, where you have to click in your passport, put in your passport information. So if you didn't have a passport, then it won't let you submit the application because you have to fill out this form. So in case this part is on this year's green card application, make sure when you apply, your passport has not expired. Like you see here, it says month, day, and year. So you have to use a valid passport. So if it expired last year, you can still use it, but I don't know if it's gonna void your application or anything like that. So make sure like your passport is still valid. Okay, let's go to this form here. I'm just gonna make it bigger so you guys can see. So when you click on the link to apply for next year, it will bring you to this part here where you have to enter this code to just show that you are a real human applying. And when you click submit, it brings you to this page here. So as you can see, this page, it will ask you for your last name, first name, and middle name. Like if you're Linda Nekesa, first name should be Linda, and then Nekesa if it's your middle name, and then if you're like whatever last name is, you put it here. So if you're Linda Nekesa and you put Nekesa as the first name and then Linda as the middle name, but in the real sense your first name is Linda, then that's it. Because then that's a different person. You're applying as a different person. It's no longer you, and you have to get an affidavit to just like make sure like all these the two people are you, which takes a lot of time. So to avoid that, make sure that you take your time, put in your last name, read this, make sure it's the first name here. If maybe this year this middle name and first name they're switched over here, make sure you don't miss that. All right, for the gender is male, female. There's no other. So you're either male or female. Okay. For your birthday, you start with the day, the month, and the year. So in the United States, if somebody asks you what is your birthday, usually you start with your month. You'll be like, oh, I'm April, whatever. But then in this application, it starts with the day. So please take a note of that. My birthday is 26th. So literally there's no month that's 26. So it's very difficult to confuse the two. But if your month, your birth month is 12 or less, or your birthday is 12 or less, if you are like born in March 3. So that's it. So if you're born like in April 4th, maybe not, that's not a very good example either. Like if you're born maybe in March 7th, so the day should be 7th and the month should be 3. But then you see how it's very possible to put a 3 and a 7 here. So make sure like all these are like accurate. Okay, let's go to the birth city. I was born in Bungoma. A lot of people make the mistake of putting Bungoma here. Bungoma is not a city. So if where you live is not a city, you have to click birth, city, unknown. I feel like with the green card lottery, usually they have like cities pre-populated on their end. So if you put a city that's not a valid city, probably the machine or whatever, the entry will just know that this is not a real city and they might void your application. I'm not sure. And then you have to select the country where you're born. And this is important because don't select a country where you're a citizen, a country where you're born. Where were you born? And then eligibility of the DV program is, are you claiming eligibility based on the country where you're born? So if you're born in Kenya and you're claiming eligibility like as a Kenyan citizen, then you click yes. But then we have like the photo. So you have to click here, you browse your computer, and then you can attach the photo. Make sure like it meets the requirements. Make sure you double check that whatever you uploaded here is whatever you wanted to upload. I think I remember checking twice, and then I just realized like the first time I uploaded the wrong photo, so I had to go back and upload the correct one. Don't assume like it's the correct one, just double check. Mailing address, fill out the information here where you want your letters or anything mailed to you. As I mentioned before, it has to be from, trusted, so that, if somebody gets a hold of those documents, make sure that they will give them to you. And then country where you live today. So with the green card lottery, you can pretty much apply from any country. So if you live in another country and you're born in another country, like if you work in Qatar or you work in Saudi Arabia, so you can put, today I live in Saudi Arabia, but then like here you can put either your Saudi Arabian address or you can put your Kenyan address, depending on where you want to get your mail. And then you can put your phone number, it's optional, but usually you just, it's safe to put your phone number there. Email address, I talked about that. So what is the highest level of education you have achieved as of today? So you see these boxes here, primary school only, high school, no degree. If you check any of these two, I think the system will just automatically void your application, because it says, it's very clear, you have to have a minimum of a high school diploma. So if you check these two, you might as well not apply for the program. So if you graduated high school, you can do high school, vocational. If you can click some university courses. So they're assuming if you're taking university courses, definitely you graduated high school. That's why it starts with the high school here, the lowest. And then you can go up to the doctorate program or doctorate degree. And this doesn't have anything to do with your chances of winning. You just click this. Everybody has a chance of winning. So like having a master's degree versus having a high school degree doesn't increase your chances of getting selected. Okay, now we go to your current marital status. So you're either single, where you're unmarried. You can be married by your spouse is not a US citizen. So both of you live in Kenya or live in a foreign land. Or if your spouse isn't a US citizen, you can apply and say, I have a spouse there. If you're divorced, widowed, or legally separated. And make sure whatever you select here, other than this, and married, you have to have proof. So if you're married, produce your marriage certificate. You're divorced, you have to produce your divorce decree or whatever. If you're widowed, you have to show a death certificate. If you're legally separated, you have to have something from the court that says that you're legally separated. So with marital status, maybe now that I'm here, I'm just going to talk about this. So if you're married, you can increase your chances of getting selected by putting in 2 applications. So if you're a wife, you can put an application, include your husband and all the children. And then on the other side, your husband can put in an application, include all the wife and all the kids. So that way you have 2 applications instead of just having the 1, and that's completely okay. Okay, number of children. If you have 2, you have 10, you have to put them all in here. So when you click continue, it will bring you to a different page. So this is the other page that allows you to put like your family. So you'll put your spouse and the date of birth. Make sure like all these names match. Your passport, ID and all that, all these names should match. And then gender, whatever, and then the same birth city we talked about that earlier. And then all the photos that you enter in this application should meet the criteria. So if your photo meets the criteria but your children's photos don't meet the criteria, your chances of winning are not very high. Make sure all the photos meet the criteria, and then put the children's name, date of birth, the gender and all that in here. And then you click continue. After you upload, you've double checked your application and make sure everything is correct. So, or when you apply for the green card lottery application when it opens in October, one thing that's really important that people don't take seriously is having positive vibes. You have to be positive, like you're gonna win. You have to feel it. Like literally every time I put in my application, I had this gut feeling that I was gonna win, and for some reason I won. So it starts with the in, having the positive vibes around you, just knowing that I'm gonna apply. Everybody in the world literally is putting in an application, but I'm gonna win. Good luck to everybody who plans to apply for the green card lottery this year. I wish you all the best. If you like this video, please click subscribe, like, comment, and don't forget to share. Thank you.